Hey, Caduce. So I want to see if this works for us, first and foremost. So I'm going to give you a little bit of overview on the Colorado Sexual Recovery's treatment components. You've been watching me do therapy for a while now, and what I want to do is bring you up to speed on how we can implement this together rather than having us have so different of styles in our work together. So the first thing we do is we do everything out of the TINSA model. And what that means is just this, is that the all behavior is unconscious that we're looking at here, and that the breaches that happen to us with our connection system or social engagement system caused the protection system to stay on or to stay stuck on. And that's going to affect us because then we're not going to be able to be vulnerable, like you said last night. So the TINSA model is really looking at how the person's autonomic nervous system was damaged in such a way that they couldn't be vulnerable, form relationships with other people, and then started using sexual behavior not only as a way to maladaptively connect with the person, but also as a way to regulate the nervous system itself. So they would either use the sexual behavior to decrease sympathetic charge, or they'll use it to increase parasympathetic freeze. All right, so those are two reasons that people are using their sexual behavior at this point. So, with that being said, what I want this model to do is everybody knows what's going on in their nervous system. So we tell them why this is happening. Now, it's a lot different than most modes of therapy. It's a lot more directive in that we're saying, look, when you're experiencing this is what your autonomic nervous system is doing. There's a couple reasons I want to do this, and first and foremost is that I want to make the unconscious behaviors conscious for people so that then they have more choice in understanding what they're doing and when they're doing it. Because a lot of people, you're going to find out, said, I can't believe I did this. I was unconscious when I was doing it, but they don't know they're unconscious when they're doing it. They just can't explain the behavior. So I really want us to start telling them, this is what's going on. This breach in your ability to connect has made you need to defend yourself in some way. And in that system, then you're going to use the sexual behavior to regulate the high frequency of the sympathetic charge, or you're going to use it to induce more frequency to a frozen sympathetic charge or parasympathetic. All right. So we're explaining to them all the time what's going on. And in a different video, I will explain this whole model to you in depth so that you can understand it and tell people exactly what's going on. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't be process oriented with them or go in and explore emotions or feelings like that, but I want them to understand where it's coming from, and then they get used to where's the charge, what's the sensation, what's the feeling. All right, and from there we're going to what's the meaning of this, and what finally is our behavioral reaction to the sensation and the meaning that we create out of all of this. Okay, so I want you to be more directive than you would be usually, I believe. The fourth thing is that, I know I skipped 3, but what the fourth thing is accountability. So everybody has to be held extremely accountable for their behaviors. Now, that's not shamed, but it's exploring why and when they are acting out or continuing in behaviors that are unhealthy for them. The example being last night in group when I noticed that 4 or 5 people in there were purposefully shielding their partners from behaviors that they had done that previous week. And the intention's great. They don't want to increase sympathetic charge in their partner, but by doing so, they're also not being authentic, and they're also creating more distance between the partner, because if nervous systems truly are reading one another, they're, on some level, the partner's going to know or feel or sense that something's amiss. And you're going to find out that all these partners are really good at that, and so are we, for that matter. We can read people like a book. All right, so I want everybody to be held accountable on their behaviors, and it's like, why did you do that? And I really like your intervention with being curious about that behavior and things like that. So we're kind of unwinding it for them. We're letting them explain to themselves, and we're also holding them accountable to do the right thing as far as getting their nervous system back online.